And you can't say enough about our man making the interception. It's his 12th year in the league, and you told me before the game that he still got it, and what a play that was to come away with the football.
Getting ready to go again here, Alfred Morris trots back onto the field. And he's found the end zone twice, and now I'm guessing he's thinking, hey, let's find it 3 times.
And you got to figure from the defensive perspective, how has he gotten there twice? What are we going to do to keep him out for a 3rd time? How do we tighten things down? Because he and his offensive mates, they are really in sync right now.
Face mask penalty, and Charles, you were a defender. You know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to keep your hands away from that face mask.
When you're trying to make a tackle, so you end up flailing away, and your hand gets into the wrong spot.
He's on pace now for 12 rushing touchdowns, and I think he's making fantasy owners smile.
I think you've got to change something on defense, don't you? I mean, we often talk about using a spy on a quarterback who has the ability to run and maneuver outside of the pocket. Maybe they need to change that to spying him, because this many touchdowns this early, that is demoralizing for a defense. One guy breaking them down.
3-4 defense, usually here you'll see the linebackers come up, make those plays, but the nose tackle also vital.
That was so vital because what you just pointed out, normally he eats up
the highlight reel runs you dream of right there.
When he gets a seam and just gets through it, how about the explosiveness, the burst to get there to begin with, and then once he's in full gallop, good luck trying to track him down.
And those plays so demoralizing for the defense.
Absolutely, because you've done so much work trying to keep people in front of you. When they're past you and behind you, that's a tough one to swallow.
And for the 4th time tonight, they're going to take him down, and this time a safety. Well, that was a long attempt to begin with, so the fake you might have known was somewhat of a possibility. Credit to the defense, though. They weren't fooled.
You're right. They weren't fooled, and they were in a position of having to play it both ways. Guard for the fake, but you still want to rush the kicker because it was a makeable kick. So they ended up getting the best out of the whole thing, stuffed the fake, and they take over the ball. Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there, a punt return for a touchdown.
Feels like there's been a lot of crushers in this game. This lead just gets bigger. So as it turns out, that sack does not wind up costing him, at least in terms of getting points. They get 3.
Once you see your quarterback go down the backfield, you think, uh-oh. But fortunately for them, their kicker came to the rescue and made sure they got something out of that drive after all. Treat it a little bit like tennis. Hold serve. Don't give up anything. Win the point, so to speak, and move on from there.
Did you play tennis?
I tell you what, the kids, they both lettered.
Your kids.
Exactly. Whose kids were we talking about?
Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's likely not going to matter much, but at least they get themselves 3 points closer to respectability.
And I don't know that they're going to feel a whole lot better about things because they've clearly been outplayed all game long. But hey, no reason not to take the points when the opportunity presents itself. That type of a lead, and they're going to fake it from the 15 to try and pick up a 2-point play instead of kicking it through the posts. Come on, man. Put that in mothballs. Come on.
What?
Come on. Don't do that.
Put that in mothballs.
Preserve that ancient relic, faking it. I can understand you want to rub it in a little. You fake it when you snapped it from the 3. But from the 15, just like my grandmother had.
Yeah,
in her attic, the stuff she used to preserve.
Did the same. It smelled. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical. There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? No, I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is finished.